it's still Sunday for you as well, right?
Yes, it's I'm on the same planet. Uh,
Well,
it's Sunday. It's what time is it here? It's now 2 p.m. I'm in
oh,
Athens, Greece, and it must be super early where you are.
yeah,
So
it's only 7 a.m., so it's early for most people on a Sunday, right?
thank you for doing this. I know that
Oh,
you do this for me, and thank you for doing this. And I hope you have a cup of coffee there with you.
I actually don't drink coffee.
No way! How can
Yeah,
you survive?
I'm not sure. I've done some lots of camping, and I'll drink it when we're on the campfire, but at home and at work, I don't even bother.
Wow. So do you drink teas or anything else?
Not normally. I'll have a hot chocolate now and again, especially in the winter here, right? But for the most part, it's water, beer, or soda.
Beer in the morning, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, morning beers. So, actually, we haven't introduced you yet. Introduce yourself and let the
Oh
people
yeah.
know who you are.
I'm Helena. I'm a songwriter and a singer from Greece. And I have an album out. My first album, The Myth, is out. The
Mhm.
genre is dream pop, indie rock, I would say. And now I'm in the process of writing my second album, which is, oh my God, amazing.
Yeah.
So far, so good. I love it so far. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
creating the demos, and you know how the process goes. You're an artist as well, and
Yeah.
um,
It's tedious, that's for sure.
it's very tedious. But at the moment, I'm not editing anything. I'm just trying to go with the flow, and I'm writing all the ideas that come to me. I'm recording all the ideas, and I don't want to overthink about it. I see the some things that I was doing differently during the writing of the first album. I was trying to do everything together in the sense that writing and then, editing at the same time,
Mhm.
but it's two completely different things, or sound
Well,
design and,
you're basically a solo artist in that sense, where you have other people come in and stuff. That's got to be hard, just as one person to do everything. You know.
so I don't think that there is one artist working on their own entirely and completely, from
That's true.
the beginning of writing an album to releasing it. You have to have a team around you. There is not enough time, and you can't do everything perfectly. Like, you need
Mhm.
people to do things better than you in other areas to and the dream team, right?
Yes.
That's how the dream works.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I'm not on my own right now, because it's, as I said, is the first stage of just getting ideas out there. Yes, I'm on my own, but later in the process, I will work with other musicians, with a producer.
Yeah.
Other people will start coming in when the time is right.
No, excellent. We're kind of doing the same here. We're slowly building our team up on the right people, and it's hard to shift through all the people that want to help, but finding the right people to help is the hard part.
It is hard, and sometimes you have to also give it time, because I feel that, sometimes somebody comes to you and they want to help, but they might not have the expertise yet, and you're like, oh no, it's okay,
Yeah,
uh,
I've got
don't worry
this.
about it. But I
Hmm.
think that you have to give it a little bit of time as well to see whether it's going to work or not. And the most important thing is to have good people around you that you can trust, that you
Yes.
you build, right, you build a relationship for life. So
Essentially, it is a friendship, or like as you say, the relationship for life. When it comes down to this industry, you almost, we've talked about this several times. It's like a giant family. You just haven't met them yet, right?
Yes, exactly. So that's super important. For me, I think this is number one when I am choosing people
Hmm.
to feel comfortable around them, to feel that we can be friends and we can go out and have dinner or, go for a walk together and have the same belief system. Um, so yeah, I'm sure you do this. So you're
Yes, yes. Especially coming next month, we have quite a few new people starting on the show with new content and stuff. So it's been the process to work with everybody, and it's been quite the hassle, but it's been worth it. Everyone's been cool and has worked just as hard as I have on making it happen. So,
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It's kind of tedious to train people as well, to show them what you want. It's also important for us to communicate that the
mhm.
right way, because sometimes, I don't know if it's my English or something, but sometimes I'm saying something in English and my people are like, what do you mean? Like what I just said, like,
Mhm.
doesn't make any sense. So we have to
So,
communicate
what's
properly.
your first language then? Greek, or
Greek,
it is?
Greek.
Eh? Can you
Yeah,
speak a little bit for us?
yeah. What do you want me to say?
Welcome to the Boneyard in Greek. Is that possible?
Θα πω ότι είναι φανταστικά που είμαι εδώ σήμερα μαζί σου. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ για την ευκαιρία. I
Awesome.
said a little more in there, but there you go.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
How does it sound to you? Does it sound weird or?
It did, because it sounded like it was this long, right? When you just say the boneyard, in English, it's just simple. But I
Yeah.
love
Oh my
how other
gosh.
languages you elaborate on your words a lot more, and you bring a lot
Yes.
more feeling to your words, right?
Yeah, I mean, Greek and English. I love both languages. I love all languages. Um, my partner, he's English, and so he's trying to learn Greek now, and he's telling me he is really comparing the words now, and he's giving me the word in English, and it's just one syllable,
Yeah, yeah,
When
water.
it's
you know.
four,
Mm.
it's usually at least double the syllables, so he's freaking out. So yes, it's
Well,
not an easy language for sure.
no, right? Well, that's awesome. He's trying to learn for you and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's been living in Greece as well. We've been, back and forth
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, UK and Greece are both our home. So I lived in London for almost 10 years. So for
Oh,
me,
wow.
yeah, so the UK, it's my home as
Yeah.
well.
It's sort of like that for me, being South and part Canadian. I've been back and forth my whole life. So I stay in Ontario for a bit, and then I'll go back home. And then when I'm down there, I'm always telling them I'm going back home, which is Canada.
There you
you
go.
know, so it's
Where the
always.
heart is, it's where the
Mm,
heart is. And I haven't been in Canada, but I see the landscape, in photos. I have friends there, and it looks unreal. It looks unbelievable. And I really want to visit this country. I really want to visit this country.
yeah, out west, especially BC and way and stuff. It's the mountains out there. You got the mountain range, and then when you go to the east, you have all the cliffs on the ocean side and stuff, right? We got a little bit of everything in this country as far as that goes. And then where
Oh,
I am, if you go north, it's nothing but like forest and lakes. And the one town, I can't remember the name, it's the town of 30,000 lakes or something they have all scattered out throughout the pocket, right?
oh my God.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, actually. I always
Canada.
come back, so.
One more thing on my list.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, you're always welcome here, that's for sure, man. You
I
guys
would
can come
love to.
over and we'll set you up, give you a
Yeah,
tour.
one day I'm gonna remember that when the time comes. I'm gonna remember what you said to me.
You know, no problem. So I got to get into your music a little bit here. When you
Sure.
redid Heart Shaped Box by Nirvana, what was your
When?
thoughts on? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
my
how
thoughts.
did that come about?
You know, Nirvana, first of all, changed my entire life. I can't even express with words. Like, I know that so many people, right, love
Mhm.
Nirvana. Um, and this song is one of my favorite songs ever. And it wasn't planned out. I was playing around with the guitar and I said, okay, let me record what I was just playing the song. And
Mhm.
I have a mini studio in my home, so in my room, and I recorded it and then I liked it and I thought, I'm going to release it. So it just happened in a day. It wasn't planned or anything
Huh.
like that.
No, it's definitely one of my favorite songs by them, and like yourself, it's one of my favorite top songs. It really gets me with the lyrics and all, right? But yeah, that
Amazing.
was very cool. That was actually the first song I heard by you was your cover of Nirvana, and then it went into your song "Crazy," which became another one of my favorite songs.
Oh,
So we
thank
could
you.
indulge into that a little bit on how that song come about. That'd be awesome.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, and "Sweet Dreams" was the other cover that I did, and I think I did
Mm-hmm.
both of them in just 2 days. But yeah,
Wow.
definitely. I mean, Shape Pop is just up there, on the
Yeah.
scale, and I just love this band so much.
No, they're fantastic, right? So,
Yeah.
so you got a new album coming out. You were saying, um, how do people help you to get this album out? Now, I know Monday I'll be sharing up the links once I'm added to the list too, right? So,
Thank you. So with this second album, things are very in the very early stage right now. So I'm just creating some demos. We haven't really planned out anything regarding a pre-order or a release date or singles or
still,
anything like that, because the reason is I don't want to feel overwhelmed and that I have to meet an imaginary deadline, a deadline that
yes.
I set up for myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know how that goes. That's you're
Yeah,
almost your worst critic in that aspect. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
even
I
though
think
you set the deadline, you could easily be like, 2 more days, but you can't. You still stick to that line and you go to it, right? So,
yeah. I mean, it's good to set deadlines, but I feel that with the creative journey, and especially in the beginning, it's better to be, at least for me, to be completely free to create whatever comes to me, and also take the time to be inspired. This is what
mhm.
I was thinking a few days ago, and I was speaking with Mike, my assistant and very good friend, and I was telling him that I don't feel that I have enough time to get inspired, to go out
Mhm.
there, go to museums and go see things. And I feel like I need this in order to create more music. And so I will actually withdraw myself a little bit from the socials, some days a week, and some other
Mhm.
things that I'm doing in
You
order to
post a lot. You do a fair bit online. I follow you on everywhere you are, right? Instagram, Facebook, right? You're on a few others. You have your webpage. I follow the Medusa one as well. You're always sending me awesome stuff over there. Like
yeah,
we're on a fair bit too. So I'm taking off this coming Tuesday night. I'm disappearing, going into the woods for 4 days. No,
amazing.
nothing but just my camera to take photos, and that's it, right? So,
That's
I
incredible. That's incredible. And I've been thinking, now that you said that, you just reminded me, I was thinking to do the same thing, to go somewhere for a week, if possible, with no phones,
mhm.
absolutely nothing apart from me, and a notebook and a pen.
Yeah. I'll have my camera and yeah, I'll have my book with me. That actually goes everywhere with me, right? So
Yeah,
just in case, right?
yeah. I mean, it's necessary. It's necessary, and posting online. It's important to stay in touch, and I want to keep in touch with my people and my music
Hmm.
supporters. They are my friends now. We've been talking for a long time, but it's also in order to create more, you need to withdraw.
Yeah, you
You,
need to pull away from what you're doing because you're stuck in that
yeah,
mode at the moment, right? You need to take that step back and be like, flush it all out. You've got those ideas out there now. Now it's time to bring in the new ones and get them out as well, right?
yes, and I realized that I am not superhuman. I can't do. I'm trying to be, but
Yeah.
I can't do everything. So yeah, I'm gonna have to say no to a few things for a good reason, and in
Hmm.
order to create the second album. But for now, I'm not really thinking. Going back to what you asked me a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not thinking about a release date or anything.
Nothing like that. Eh? You're just gonna work on it, and then when it's ready, and then hey guys, it's ready.
I want to take it from there. Yeah, I mean, it has to be step by step, right? In order
Hmm.
for the process to be well thought of, and to do a good job and enjoy the process. I really want this time to enjoy the process, because I feel that with the first album, I loved making it, but it was also overwhelming. It was a stressful period, and I said to myself, no, I have to enjoy what I'm doing,
Hmm.
not only when it's out there, but while I'm doing this.
Yeah, no, if you don't like it, it's no. You can really see it in the artist's work. Like you can see bands when they first came out, they were amazing, and then you could tell they slowly started hating what they did, and their music went downhill, right?
Apart from Nirvana.
Yes, no, they did. They were amazing. They how many? They had like 20 fucking albums out or some shit in total or something. They had a lot of unreleased stuff too. They just put out not long ago as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know. They're all amazing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, definitely. I know what you mean, and I don't know how people can tell, but they can tell everything. They can
Hmm.
tell if you're honest, um, if what you wrote is coming from you.
Yeah.
It amazes me how people can tell that, without knowing your story 100%. They can
Yeah.
tell, they can sense it, and
It's
it's
music. That's music is life as far as I'm concerned, right? So,
yeah, you're right. That's the amazing thing about music.
yeah.
You can
Oh,
feel everything.
Amanda fact checked me there. 3 albums, one live, one unreleased. Go Nirvana.
Love Nirvana.
Yeah. So it wasn't 28 albums. It was three.
I've told Mike. Hi, Marie. I love
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love seeing those messages here. By the
Yeah,
way,
they're
You're
fun. Yeah, they
saying,
come up from. Can you see them on your end too? Yeah,
yeah,
on the side. Yeah,
it's
awesome.
pretty amazing, guys. Yeah, keep them coming.
Yeah.
We love that.
Well,
um,
Marie's one of our top fans. She's all the way from Quebec, and then we have Kevin, who will be on the show. He's another big top fan. He's watches every show. He always supports every artist that comes on. Right.
that's amazing. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for doing this for the arts, and especially for independent artists, because I mean, all artists are
Hmm.
artists, but I feel that with the independent artists, it's like you have to do, at least in the beginning, everything yourself,
Hmm.
and that's very tough.
Yeah, we work with quite a few. Almost every band we have on the show are either independent or sort of signed to a record deal, but not quite yet. And it's actually been interesting to watch a lot of the journeys with these bands and see how each one handles what's thrown their way and how they overcome it. It just gives you inspiration. And then to even our conversation today, like it's like, yes, you just push through. And sometimes, like you said, you have to take a day off or two, but there's nothing wrong with stepping back for a minute or two and reassessing, right?
Oh yeah, it's necessary. It's not just that it's not wrong, it's necessary to do it. I feel that I've seen artists, I have many friends that are artists, and honestly, they are the most hardworking people I've ever met. And they're always on the go, always trying to create, always trying to do things, and that can hurt you at some. So it's necessary, it's essential for your health, for your peace of mind, and for clarity to step back and forget about the music for a
Yeah.
while.
Well, I can't wait. I'm so excited to go to the woods. I'm at that point right now, right? So it's like I just need a break for a couple days. That's all I need, right? So
Yeah, even if it's more, it's okay. Even if it's
yeah,
more.
yeah. I'm back again Friday for an interview. So this week unless Amanda has something lined up her sleeve there, we'll be pretty laid back. I got Danica on tomorrow night, and then that's it for the week until Friday. So
Sounds good to me. Sounds
uh,
good. And you're enjoying what you do, and that's
oh
super
yeah,
cool as well.
I've
I
been.
love, I love what you have there in your background.
Oh, that's our actual symbol. Yeah. You're an Aries, you said. Hey, you like the ram?
Yes. What's your star sign?
I'm September, but I'm on the split, so I'm a Libra and Virgo. So
Right on the change of
yeah. So
okay.
it depends on which one, what paper you read, or what book you're reading it out of, right? So,
Read papers.
yeah. The newspaper, right?
For the column for the star sign.
Yeah.
No.
No
I
doubt, right?
actually don't believe in these things, but maybe some very like generic stuff makes sense. But the everyday thing that from day to day, today your day is going to be like this
Yeah.
and this, and at the end of the day you're going to feel this. That's I don't really
You
believe.
can't forget your lucky numbers. They always give you a
Yeah.
few lucky numbers too, right?
Oh, you're right.
uh,
You're right.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't follow that too much as far as that goes, right? You
Yeah.
make your own destiny, and in a sense, like you can either just sit back and all my friends have families, houses, they fucking lease a bunch of cars, debt up to their eyeballs, right? And then they look at me like I don't have nothing. But man, I've traveled the world. I meet amazing people like yourself, hang out with amazing bands and music, And then they're all like, "Oh, I wish we could travel." Well, if you didn't have that $100,000 house and the $70,000 car, fucking, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all about priorities, right? Or
Hmm.
priority, I should say. And what's going to make you happy. And for everyone, that's different. What we want is very different to what somebody else wants. And um, so, yeah, it's you can't have everything
No.
together at the same time.
No,
Um,
you got to break it down. Okay, this 10 years, I'm just going to go fucking travel. And this 10 years, maybe I'll start a career. I
yeah,
always found it fascinating that as soon as you graduate school, you have to know what the fuck you want to do, right? And that never made sense to me, man. I always tell everybody take a year off and go do something before you go to school. Because I went to school 3 times, college, university, and never used any of it afterwards.
yeah. I
Other
went
than,
twice. I went
yeah,
twice, and yeah. So, what did you study for a
yeah.
while?
My first courses that I did were I did gas fitting and trade school, right? And then electrical and all that. And then went through, I started my plumbing course, but I that's not what I wanted to do, right? And then when I was in university in Georgia, we did astrophysics was my main course, right? A bit of chemistry I took on the side, all courses, right? So it was
Yeah.
fun. Like I still study the stars. I can tell you which planets are where and all that fun
Oh,
stuff. And
amazing.
just I, it's another conversation. I have another buddy actually who's in a band. He's an astrophysicist as well, so I want to get him back on and have just him and I talk about our degrees and shit. Right?
I would
Mine's
love
more
to watch that.
astrophysics, but I was
Because
always fascinated looking up the stars, planets. I could always imagine that distance, like as far as light and travel and time, how that works. I can see it when I talk about it. It's
it's
almost
mind
something that
blowing.
I'm born with in that sense, right?
Yeah, it's mind blowing, and I do that too. I just, especially here in Greece, where you have a clear sky most of
Hmm.
the time, and I just watch the stars, and I'm amazed. Every time that I do it, I'm amazed. It's like a miracle. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's beautiful, and we don't do it enough.
No, we drowned ourselves out in light. Like you go anywhere close to the city and you see like two or three stars, maybe the moon because there's a building in the way. And I believe people have lost touch with the world that way. Like we no longer put our hands in the dirt and look up at the sky. Where.
Now that you say that, oh my God! Now that you say that, I go up on a hill close to the Parthenon here, and every time I go up there, I take my shoes off and my socks, and I just want to feel the rocks.
Hmm.
And it just feels incredible, and I'm like, why do we wear shoes? We shouldn't.
No, I'm the same. Like right now, I'm not in my work boots. I'm barefoot. Like I
That's
love to.
incredible.
I don't even own a pair of running shoes. I own my work boots, and that's it. And then other than that, I'm just no socks, no shoes, right? Barefoot
Ah,
everywhere.
that's wonderful. Yeah, it just makes such a difference when you walk with shoes, you don't feel grounded. You don't feel that you are on earth. I don't know how to
No,
explain it, but when you're
you,
walking barefoot, it's like you can feel the oneness with the earth.
yeah. No, it's true. You get almost
Grounding. Grounding.
grounded, right? Like not enough people do that anymore. Just put your hands in the dirt, put your feet down there. Look up at the sky for once. Even to watch clouds. I'll watch clouds for two,
Yeah.
3 hours. Just laying in the yard.
That's
So.
incredible. We're all on the phones like this, but
Mhm.
talking about all these things now, I feel that one of the good things that the pandemic brought is this, that people go out in nature more often
Mhm.
because we didn't have a choice. We couldn't meet inside, so indoors. So people here, I see it a lot. There was nobody, no Greek was going to the park. This was not a thing in Greece. And now everybody's out. They're in the park. I'm like, yes, that's
Mhm.
great. That's amazing.
Here it's hit and miss. Some parks you'll get a fair crowd always goes to this park or that park. But I noticed yesterday running through town, like coming back from work, the parks were packed in every town we drove through, man. Like
That's
people were out.
great.
One dude was blasting the bagpipes, man, and it was awesome. Like it was so nice to see people outside doing stuff, right?
Yes, yes, definitely.
A lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, yeah, but that's one thing that changed a little bit, at least here, since the pandemic, the lockdowns
Yeah,
started. Um,
it really made you appreciate freedom in a sense. Like, what do you mean I can't go see my mother? Like I can't go see my friends. Like that was
yeah,
hard, especially
yeah,
for me as a traveler. Like everyone I know lives 3, 4 days away from me. I've got to drive there, and
wow,
with the borders locked down and stuff, right?
yeah,
I couldn't do anything. Like,
that's tough. Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, we should. I think it's good to keep in mind that nothing is a given thing, and
No.
we have to keep on fighting for what is right for the world, and not to take it for granted. Just to be grateful, just to be grateful for what we have. Really.
No, it's true. Sorry, my phone went off there. I thought I had
That's
it turned off. It just beat.
That's okay.
So
Mine is off, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have with Medusa.
Medusa.
Where does that come from? Before you go into that, do you remember the old movies, Ron Harryhausen, Clash of the Titans, Jason and the Argonauts? Medusa was always my favorite clay animation character that he had, right?
Nice.
So, and
She's the
do go on
badass.
though, yeah,
She's the
and
badass. That's why I choose her. Kevin says I make handmade stuff.
he does bracelets and necklaces, stuff like that, right? So,
Wow. Send me something to check it out. Or
yeah,
just
send it. Put your link up there, Kevin, and then
yeah,
we'll get it up there.
I'd love to see. So yeah, about Medusa, I didn't have a concept for the previous album, and I actually wrote the song "Demit" was the last song I
Hmm.
wrote for the album. And it kind of happened together while I was writing the song. She came to my mind, and I thought, oh, she can represent this album in a way just because of the themes in the album. It made sense when I thought about it a little bit more. And she's always been one of my favorite characters in ancient Greek mythology,
Oh yeah,
and such a tragic character as well,
that's
because
really.
not sorry.
Oh, that's the interesting thing with the Greek mythology, and that it's always a lot of it's a tragic story. Is how these people like the Minotaur, you have Medusa, right, and that
Yeah.
you can go on, and it's always she overcame it in the end, though. Like she did rule what they gave her. She.
You know, I don't know about that. I mean, first of all, most people know her only as a monster, right? As
Mhm.
somebody who's a baddie and she wants to hurt people, and people die because of her. But her story is very, very interesting. That she was just a simple girl that was devoted to goddess Athena, and then was now started telling the story. I don't know if you're interested in
No, I'm 100% right in the Greek mythology, the old stories and stuff like that.
awesome.
I'm actually my next ad is the Medusa piece for my thigh here, which is actually one of my, like I said, one of my favorites. And then a friend of mine in Mexico, her nickname's Medusa, and we talk every day. I've gone to visit her and shit. It's kind of a partial thing to her as well, right? So,
Yes, yes.
so she actually got a custom sweater made last time I went down, and I had the Medusa symbol on the side, and then I have some of my lyrics in Spanish written on the back for her, and
Oh
then I got
wow.
Medusa fully written in Greek lettering down the one arm for her. Right? So,
Wow, Medusa.
yeah,
That's amazing. I would love to see that. Send me a picture to
yeah,
see.
I'll send some over in our chat when we're all done talking. I'll find them and send them over.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, not a problem.
So yeah, she was just a beautiful, normal girl, and quite innocent. And then she was raped. She got raped by Poseidon, and goddess Athena, she punished her, right?
Hmm.
Because it happened in Athena's temple, and that was the only reason. I don't know why she got punished. Probably because she was the woman, uh,
Yeah.
and she turned her into a monster. And this is, in a nutshell, her story. And I loved just showing. a different perspective for this story, because almost everyone who, I had a lot of messages, they didn't know all these things before. They just knew that, she was a monster and trying to kill people, the
Yeah, they
bad, the
didn't.
evil woman, but
Yeah,
something must happen in your life to become this. And you mentioned something before that what did you say, that she found her, that she, you,
she,
I don't,
she, how did I say that now? I'm trying to think of that.
how
I
did
said
you
that
say it? You said something.
she's
Uh,
still ruled like what. Even when she became that monster, she even owned up to that and wore that well. You could say like in that sense, like as far as the legend goes in the story, like
yeah,
it
yeah, she
wasn't
was
until
a badass monster for sure.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
she helped defeat the Kraken when they cut her
yeah.
head off, right? So,
For me, she's the symbol of empowerment, especially for women. Um, and I
that's what
just
Essa says. She's a symbol of power for women. Is almost her exact words, right? So,
awesome. So yeah, that's why I chose her.
no, that's excellent. I love how you use the gold for your snakes with the mask and stuff. That looks phenomenal, actually.
Thank you.
So, what was it like doing the photo shoot for that?
It was like eating a lot of golden dust. That's how it was like in
Pooping
reality.
gold over here.
I ate a lot of it. It was everywhere in my nose, in my mouth. Yeah, which is not healthy, I'm sure, but it
No,
was
no, right?
fun. So yeah, it was very well thought of, and um, the photo the photographer,
Mhm.
Graphos. Sometimes I have to think in Greek to think back in English. So the photographer he made me feel we knew each other actually from before, because we did the photo shoot for the Parthenon Marbles single,
Mhm.
and I felt very comfortable with him, being almost naked, which I haven't done before. And then I wanted to keep it simple, but I wanted to also make it look interesting and for it to have a class about it,
For the power that the photos speak, is it still is elegant, all in the same hand. When you look at the photos that you guys did for that shoot, did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We we did the best that we could, definitely, worked really, really hard. And during the video as well, we ate some more golden dust there. But it was amazing during the video, for this one. It was the first time that I worked with so many women, and it wasn't planned. I always worked very, very well with men, but it happened this time. It just happened that I had a lot of women around me, and I loved it. It felt like, and we also shot the video on International Women's Day, which
Oh,
was planned either. And it felt like it was meant to be.
yeah, right. The universe handed you a star and said, "Here you are. Right? This is yours."
Yeah,
Right.
we we celebrated Medusa and our freedom as women. So yeah, it was such an amazing journey with a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, of course, right. Well, I'm like you myself. I work with a lot of women. I get along with women. I grew up in a house full of women, so I'm very comfortable. But at work, they're all these women around. I'm like, dude, they're all just friends. We either work together, or, like they all think it's a big orgy fucking going down. Like it's like, no, man.
You're lucky. You're lucky to be surrounded by a lot of women, so yeah, maybe that's why you, not maybe, I'm sure that played a huge role in being so sensitive and so in touch with Mother Earth and
Hmm.
all these.
Very well could be actually. Now you mentioned that, like, because yeah, growing up, I was the only boy in the house. Right, it was my mom's and my sister, and then all my sister's friends moved in and out through their troubles through high school and shit. Right, and then
Yeah.
just always been that way.
Yeah, you're lucky. You're lucky.
Yeah.
I have a brother. I have a brother who's 11 years younger than me, and he's the only boy in the family. And he's been, treated like a king from birth.
Yeah,
But he is such good-hearted and so down to earth. He.
makes it very easy to talk and do business with people like that. I see it a fair bit. I brought a couple buddies with me to some things, and it's like, dude, like this is you can't act like this here, man. I don't know what you do at home, but you can't fucking do that here, man. Like,
Don't cross the line.
no,
Yeah.
right? Like some people don't get that, and I've had that a lot. Like women come right to you, touching you, grabbing you, and shit. It's like, oh,
Oh,
sorry. Like it's a little different, I guess, for men to receive that kind of a sexual harassment, I guess you would call it. But
yeah, there is. I mean, this happens from both sides. It's just
Mhm.
that the usual thing, in proportion, if you see it in
Oh,
proportion, it's
100
most.
times over, it's men to women for sure.
Yeah,
But
but it happens. It happens from women as well. We have to be careful.
mhm. No, I even had one of my uncles. He died before I was born, I believe, or shortly after. But his wife used to beat him like with frying
Oh my
pans.
God.
Everyone thought he was just a drunk at work and stuff, and he got in fights on the weekend. But it was his old lady just beating the shit out of him every
Oh
fucking
my
time,
God.
right?
And
Yeah.
I think that is. I mean, in both situations, either coming from a man or from a woman, it's hideous.
Oh yeah.
But when it comes from a woman, I feel that it's even more difficult for the man to speak up because people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah," you
Little
get on,
girls picking on you,
and
know.
they might make them feel bad about speaking up. So, men should speak up as well, not just women.
No,
Everybody.
yeah, he went through his whole right up till he died, being beaten, not doing anything about it, or
Oh,
so. you know,
shame. That's a shame. Poor man. Oh,
apparently he was a good. Apparently they look a lot like him if you look at the photos and stuff. Apparently, so.
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, oh, that's not nice. That's not
No,
nice.
no, right, but
I mean, not that you.
no, I know, I know what you mean. I know.
I
yeah,
should
yeah,
be, you know,
poor
I should
guy.
be, I should be very
Uh,
specific about what I'm saying. It might
I knew
be
what you meant.
misunderstood. Oh man, it's such a pleasure to be here.
Oh,
You made my day, made my Sunday.
it's an honor to have you on the show. We've been talking for a long time, and I was finally like, "Hey, I run a podcast, by the way. you
Yeah,
you want to come on the show sometime? That'd be awesome."
it was about time, definitely. It was about
Yeah.
time. And thank you, for all your support and for everything that you've been doing for other artists too. It's not an easy thing to have a podcast and interview people. It's not an easy thing. It takes up a lot of your time.
Oh yes.
I thought about doing this with other artists, just to start interviewing them, and
hmm
I just couldn't start because there was never time for it. So well done you for
Yeah.
finding the time to do this.
Yeah, because I work full time too. Some days, sometimes we work like normal hours, and then others like 60, 70 hour weeks. Like, and
Oh my.
then had this on top like last. fuck, this month and last month we've had almost 70 bands on. So some days we're doing 2, 3 bands in a day, and then
Wow, that's hard work. That's
yeah.
hard. You see,
So
that's how passion works, right? That's how passion works. You just can't stop doing it.
no, right? And then yeah, now how do I go backwards? I can't go backwards. I've got to go
Mhm.
forwards. So
Yeah,
after my little break, we're gonna bring some new content coming next month. We have a cooking show starting up, and I don't want to give any dates out because nothing's been completely finalized. We have a
that's
comedy
so
night coming here in the Boneyard. Yeah, for our
awesome.
D&D fans, we're
Excited.
having a little D&D night once a week.
D&D. What is that? What's D&D?
D&D is like the old school nerd board game. Roll the dice, and you choose your character, and then you
Ah.
might have to Google that one. It's safe to Google it, by the way. It's not going to come up and give
I
you
have
viruses.
to. I'm not familiar with this. I have to check it out.
yeah,
Yeah, you're expanding. That's amazing. A
yeah.
lot of
So
exciting things coming up.
yeah, I'll have a lot more work behind the scenes now, and not so much in front of the camera. Like I'll still do my stuff on the weekend and that, my travel show, but it'll be nice to have other people kind of take the reins for a couple months and or a month and see where it goes. And if they like it, they keep going. And we're gonna next month's totally experimental here in the Boneyard. So
That's awesome, man. I
yeah,
wish you good luck with everything and that it goes exactly as you wanted to go.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Was so your local scene? What are some of the other local artists that we should know about in your neck of the woods?
Oh my, I can send you some names later on. Would you want to speak with people who only sing in English, or would you be up?
No, we have a few bands. We just had a band out of Brazil. They sing a lot of their stuff in like Spanish and such, but the one guy spoke pretty good English, so he came on. Um, we've had a few bands from Quebec. Actually, I deal with a lot of bands out of Quebec and stuff. They're all French, right? They speak English, but some of them sing only in French. Some of them are back and forth. Some songs are in both. And yeah, if you
So
send over
yeah,
some music and let me
yeah,
hear some music, and then definitely if I'm into the music, I have no problems having a conversation. you know, so
yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, I'll send you a few, and then you choose.
yeah, perfect. No, that's excellent. That'd be fantastic. But
Definitely.
yeah, we've had quite a few people over your way. A couple buddies from France, Chris there, a couple guys out of the UK from Fate of the Jugular. Some old boys actually, but you could tell they're fun when they play live. Just the way he carried himself in the interview, it was so fun. I
Yeah,
should actually reach out again to him today and see how he's doing.
that's awesome. It's
yeah.
all about the energy. It's all about the energy. If you're
hmm
40 and you feel like you're 70 or 80, it's going to show. If you're 40 and you feel like 20, it's going to show. It's all about the energy.
No, it is. Like even down south when I'm back home, you'll see the old blues guys playing on the front porches and shit. But they're like, it's got to be 110 now, but they're
That's
just
awesome.
jamming away, man. Like they're 20s, like they're in their 20s again. I always
Yeah.
love seeing that. We actually have a soul singer coming on. I believe she's out of Mississippi. I'm gonna double
Ooh,
check that fact, but she'll be on next within a week or two. She's on the show,
wow.
so that'll be
You
interesting.
have a great voice, being from there and singing soul music.
Oh, I know. With a lot of deathcore, we have a lot of heavy, a lot of punk on the show, right? And then
Everything.
we always find time for artists like yourself that aren't quite so heavy and stuff. But I still love your music. It's on my playlist, so right.
Yeah, maybe because you love, your the heavy music, and my background is metal and rock. Maybe this conveys in the music, and that's why you like it. I don't know.
I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I said when I first heard that cover, and then I divulged deep into your music. It was like, where has this been? This should have always been on my playlist. So it's
Ah,
a
thank
it's
you,
nice
man.
change though. Like you can't. slash your head forever. Like you got to have a balance. And with music such as yourself and a few other the bands, it levels it out. I get my heavy hardcore energy here. I have my just sitting out back having some beers, listening to crazy, you know.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. And you know what? Now that you say this, um, on the second album, there will be a lot of different genres in one album, and
Nice.
I'm okay with that because it's still me, but there will be some dance tracks, and
Oh,
there will be some scream singing tracks,
oh, I'm excited.
and there will be some R&B tracks and some dream pop tracks, and I'm okay with that because, as you know, artists, you write, and everything is music, right?
Hmm.
And you write anything and everything, whatever comes to you. And with the previous album, I was always thinking, oh, does this song fit this genre? If it's not this genre, I can't release it,
Hmm.
right? And now I just think differently, and I'm like, I'm just going to include the tracks that I love, and it doesn't matter the genre.
Yeah, just put them on there, but that's your music, that's your style. Like, you should. It's weird to hear bands like I've seen this a bunch do. They play all their heavy, and then the one guy's got this amazing slow song, but they won't put it on the album because it doesn't fit their genre and stuff. They have to
Yeah,
either give
but
it to another band to play to get it out there, or they have to do a solo project. You know.
which I think, especially for the arts, getting into this box and having to,
Yeah.
to create so many rules. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. Then why are we making art?
No, like you're supposed to be kicking down these barriers and pushing your
Exactly.
boundaries to find out exactly how much art or creativity you truly have, right? Like to find your full potential, you have
Yeah,
to be able to push through that door or get out of that box. Like,
exactly. The art is there to free yourself,
mhm.
to reach the unreachable. I don't
No, like, reach
know.
for the stars, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly. So if we start saying no to this, no to that, oh, I love it, but I can't, oh, this doesn't go, anything goes. I feel
mhm.
that anything goes because at the end of the day, it's you. It's
No,
still you. If
yeah.
you write a pop song, it's you. If you write a metal song, it's still you.
Right? That's a great way to think about it. Like to get out of that mindset of I'm hardcore, that's it, or I only do dance music. It always amazes me to watch people get stuck in that rut or that track and not.
And you can get really stuck, and I was really, really stuck for many years, and I was questioning, and I was just making things harder. Things are very simple, in
Mhm.
general, things are much more simple than we think they are. And yeah, just I think with the second album, when you hear it, you're gonna let me know if you feel the same. But I think I'm just gonna go with the flow and create what I love. It doesn't matter what it will be in the end.
Mhm.
And I hope that you will feel that when you listen to the music, that it's a project made out of love and there are no rules, you
No,
know.
I'm looking forward to it for sure. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm bad for putting on the album and listening to the whole album and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see the mixture of music that you're going to be throwing our way. Because sometimes you throw on an album and the first song sounds just like every other song on the whole album. There's no mix up or in between, although that's good. Like sometimes I just want to hear this, so
Yeah.
it's always nice to have a mix up though, like juice it up, spice things up a little bit.
Yeah. And I really think that things are changing now just because there are so many independent artists out there making it. You don't have to have a label in order to make it for yourself. And so I feel that artists just create whatever they love nowadays. Many do.
Hmm.
It's not like it used to be, where the label tells you, oh, no, you have to do one thing. You have to. Now they follow, even if they are signed by a label. Nowadays, labels are more open-minded as well, and they follow, they trust the artist's vision, and they go with
Yeah.
that.
See, that's, yeah, like I remember watching an interview with Eddie Van Halen before he passed or whatever. You can still find the interview, but he talks about when he first got on the label, and now all of a sudden he had to play like this. He had to do this. Like they were even making him rewrite and remixing his songs to where he had to relearn how to play his own song because of the way they
Oh,
remixed it on him and stuff. Right? It's a shame to
yeah.
watch so many people get their fingers on your idea and chop it right up on you,
Yeah.
you know?
I think it's good to have suggestions from
Yes.
other people, and that's why you work with other people. You need um, their ideas. You need their mind as well. It's better to have three minds than
Yeah.
just one.
Well, it's admit not everything we do is amazing or great. Sometimes you need someone to
Yeah,
be like, hey, man, don't
yeah.
do
How would you
that.
help them, or maybe what if you say this instead of this? But at the end of the day, it should be the artist's choice
Yeah.
of how to go ahead with something if it's their work. And sometimes in the past I feel that people who were working in labels, many of them were not um, music lovers.
Yes.
So you have to also
They
be
were businessmen or business people, I guess that's how you would say that now, right?
only, you can
But
be
yeah.
both, but if you just do it for the wrong reasons, then that's not that's
Yeah.
not what you should be doing,
It,
I
it
feel.
almost taints the music in that sense because now
Yeah,
it wasn't generally put out for passion or because of passion. Now all of a sudden it's because I got $1 million. That's why I put this song out, you know.
yeah,
And
yeah. So we have to be careful about with who we trust and who we choose to hear.
hmm no, it's so true, and it's getting easier now that you eventually you learn the trait. You learn how to read people and how to connect with people on that level to make things happen. So
Yeah.
definitely a very unique industry, a very unique business on its own on how everything works. So
Yeah, nothing works the same way. There is no specific pattern for doing one thing. There are so many ways to do the
mhm.
same thing. And so it has to feel, at least for me, I think that it has to feel genuine for you and real for you because everybody's different and there is
Mhm.
no, specific recipe.
No, right? Like I go with the flow so much, and Amanda gets mad at me sometimes. She's like, "We need a plan." I'm like, "The plan is do the show. That's the plan. Whatever happens in between, yeah, right." So I'm working on it. I'm working on trying to keep her in the loop, or at least give her somewhat of an idea what's going on. I got to
Yeah.
thank her for keeping up with the chaos that is me. So.
Yeah, we have to recognize and acknowledge the people who are helping us, because
Mhm.
as we said before, nobody's on their own. When they're achieving something, it's usually at least a small team, at
Mhm.
least small team. Nobody's doing it on their own, and we have to acknowledge that and the people helping us.
No, our good buddy from Ireland, not. I'm working on getting him his own mead, or at least a 6 pack of mead. I'm working on. I don't want it to fall too much or whatever, right? But he did a lot of independent stuff, but it wasn't just him. Like his buddies were helping him film the videos, and then now that he's got players that will play with him full time, he's actually become a band now because of being independent and pushing still through it. But it was always his friends were helping him. Same here. Like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for yourself or bands like Cross Dog and Fear. And that last night, Let It Rot came on. Like if you guys didn't make music, I wouldn't be here doing this. So
Yeah. That it works both ways. It
mm.
works both ways. And yeah, so thank you, people, for helping us.
And obviously, if nobody, I'd still do it if nobody watched, but we were climbing the ladder with our viewership. So I got to thank everybody that watches, right?
For me, I have to say, I don't know whether I would still be doing it if it wasn't for people supporting my music. I'll tell you, I would never stop singing. I would never stop maybe writing music, but I don't think if I didn't have the practical support, people paying for my music, supporting it, I think I would just write for myself. I wouldn't release it because I think after trying for so many years, I would be disparaged and just continue doing it for myself,
Yeah. No, I understand that, right? Like
what I'm trying to say is that it's important that when we love a specific artist, that we support this artist. It's important that we do this, all of us.
Whether it's buying the merch or the CDs or going to their shows,
Yeah.
Even donating to the page. Oh, I got $5. Here's $5, guys. Help, hopefully that helps one step closer to the album. You know what I mean?
So, I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
Oh, it was just donating, like even throwing the band $5 on their page or buying their merch, buying their CD and a T-shirt helps out huge.
Yeah, I think every little helps, especially again going back to the artists that don't have a backing, the labels, a huge labels backing. When you love the music, in my opinion, it's good to support it. It's good to support it because it's not just for your soul, it's for the artist's soul as well. Telling this artist, what you're doing is worth something in this world and keep on doing what you do. It's like a pat on the back saying, keep on doing this.
Yeah, you're on the right path.
You're on the right path, exactly. Otherwise, it would feel like, oh my God, I'm releasing so much stuff. Nobody wants it. Nobody cares. And that's a terrible feeling. And then, how many people have stopped making music?
Even just with the pandemic, a lot of bands have kind of disappeared. And then even before, like I got a amazing buddy of mine. She can fucking belt out, like amazing singer, but no one was coming to the shows, and
Exactly.
I bugged her to come play with me, but by then it was already, her confidence was already kind of shot, she didn't want to do it no more.
Also, you burn out. At some point you burn out and you can't really keep on giving. So I feel that you need to receive as well.
Yes.
It's a relationship both ways. The artist gives and he takes so he can give again. And then that's how it's supposed to be. You can't just give.
Give. And then, like you said, you burn out and then you end up on the fucking side of the road drinking out of a brown paper bag.
Why am I doing this myself? It's like as if you have a choice. You don't have a choice. You have to keep on making music or whatever you want to do because it's your passion. I wish we had the option, right? The choice, but we don't. So it's for everyone having a passion. You have to follow it. Otherwise, it's going to die.
No, that's so true. And because normally I would come to you, like I would have flown to Greece and then sat down and interviewed you in person.
That'd be awesome.
With the pandemic and all, we had to figure out how to reinvent the channel because and then that's when we found like the restream and all this shit, right? And so we could continue to do what I love to do personally, so it's
Yeah.
definitely been changing times, but you got to keep up with them on the same hand. So, but yeah, probably next year I'll be in the UK. I'll be traveling around and stuff. So I'll definitely keep you in the loop on where I am and where I'm heading. And
That would be awesome, man.
yeah,
I hope that our paths meet and that, we'll both have the time to properly catch up.
yeah, sit down, have some dinner, some wine, whatever, right? And
Yeah.
maybe watch the fucking stars come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be
That's even better to
fantastic.
be in the park and watch the stars.
Yeah, have a real picnic. I've never had a real picnic where you take a basket out and
I love
lay
it.
out the blanket. Yeah, is
I
that
love
common over there? Do a lot of people do that there?
Unfortunately, not. No, I don't see many people doing that. But as I
You-
said, I feel that it's much better now with people going to the parks to chill with music or to hang out
mm.
with friends. But picnic is not like a thing,
Well, you see it in the movies all the time when like even the older ones. In the background, it's dude and this dog and the old lady eating bread out of this basket,
Yeah,
drinking wine. I don't
yeah.
know. I've always wondered if people really do that, or is that just a Hollywood?
But in the UK, in London, I was seeing that quite a lot. In the park,
Yeah.
they had food. Yeah, yeah. They had food. I guess Greeks like going to the tavernas to eat,
Mm. You guys love your food. Oh, you guys have some fantastic dishes over there.
Oh, okay, if we start talking about food, we're not going to stop. I'm
All
telling you.
right, all right. So we'll
I
save that for
love food. I love
100%.
Greek food. I love Mediterranean food. I love Italian food. I love Mexican food.
Oh,
Oh, it's
Mexican food's some of my favorite. When I was down there, I went and I got the normal Mexican breakfast, and
oh,
fucking I ate it twice. Like I went to another little shop just so I could have it again. Right.
I love Turkish.
Mm.
Turkish is amazing. Indian.
Trinidadian or Trinidad food. Friends of mine come up from Trinidad and stay with me for a couple weeks there a few years back. And every night when I get off work, she would have a traditional Trinidadian meal made up for us and stuff. And
What is
I
that? What's the traditional food?
she did because they didn't eat beef or anything, right? So it was all like spiced chicken, and then she did like a chicken creamed lasagna. I don't know. It was almost like an Alfredo lasagna with like chicken and all that in there and fruits.
Can you do that with tofu or something?
No, I'm not sure what she put in it, right? But
Ask her whether you can, whether I can create, I can make a veggie version of this.
you probably could, yeah, because tofu is really good for flavor sucking. You just soak it in the chicken broth, right? Or the Alfredo sauce, probably be even better. We'll figure something out. Because you're a vegetarian completely. You don't eat any
um,
meat then, or?
I eat fish sometimes,
Mhm.
quite rarely, I would say. Okay, not too rarely, but not very often. But I don't eat meat, chicken, beef, things like that.
Yeah.
I don't drink milk. I don't like eggs, but I have them sometimes. And I avoid cheese as well.
Okay. My
Uh,
three favorite things. I love milk. I love eating cheese, right?
yeah. Have you tried any other type of milk?
Yeah, I did almond milk for a long time there. Like after my surgeries and stuff, I wasn't allowed dairy. I also couldn't eat beef and any meats and stuff like that. So I really changed how I ate, in that sense. And then, but yeah, almond milk I found all right. I really like the chocolate almond milk. That was fantastic. I've tried the soya milk and stuff as well. It's not too bad, really. It's
Yeah.
almost just an old habit from growing up on dairy, right? You just buy it out of habit in that sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I never liked milk. I remember my mom pushing me, when I was going to school to drink my milk before I go
Hmm.
to school, but I never liked it. But yeah,
Well,
rice milk as well. There are so many options nowadays.
pretty funny for calcium. Like when you drink milk, you don't even absorb any of the nutrients out of the milk. Like you're
Yeah,
literally just drinking milk
nothing.
for no reason. Like it doesn't make you're not making your bones stronger like they told us and stuff in school, you know. Drink
Yeah.
milk
Oh my
every day.
God.
That was a whole advertisement plan from the dairy companies. No
Yeah.
different than cereal wasn't a thing until the 50s, you know, when they came out
Yes.
with fucking cereal.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And talking about these things now, remember when I became a vegetarian?
Hmm.
Um, so many people started telling me stupid things like, you're
Oh,
gonna gain weight, you are going to be fainting, you're not going to have any energy in your body, you are gonna do this, or this is gonna happen to you. And people started telling me nothing was right.
yeah,
What I know is that if your body needs it, there is a reason for it. If
yeah,
you feel like, that's why it's important to listen to our bodies. If you feel that you drink milk and you're getting bloated and you feel horrible, probably your body is telling you, I don't want what you're giving me.
yeah, right. Like for the most part, I'm drink water. I'm pretty bad with soda. I'll have a can of Coke a day, which I know I shouldn't have, right? But
I'm having too much coffee, I have to say. I'm
yeah,
completely addicted to black coffee.
yeah,
Addicted. Mm.
that's awesome. I love the smell of coffee though. Like for you to brew it and to smell it through the house, fantastic. I just never liked it. Never liked the taste of it. Or
Wow.
I will
What do
get like ice cap coffee flavored ice cream. I'll eat that though. Like
Did you ever smoke? Were you ever smoking? Or
yeah, I'm a smoker. I'm on the verge. My trip to the woods will be my introduction to no smoking because I'm not taking cigarettes or anything with me, right? So
yes. Oh
we'll.
wow. I'll be keeping my fingers crossed for you, man.
Thank you.
Did you try to cut it before to stop?
Yeah, I've tried to quit several times over the years. Like I've gone the most couple months, and then for some you just start smoking again for no reason. Like there's no purpose behind it other than like you look
I
you
know how it feels.
you know, James Dean is who I'm going to blame it on. Looks so damn cool. Right? I know.
James seemed to blame.
Yeah.
This man. He was just too cool
I
looking.
know. I couldn't help
Incredible.
it.
Incredible. Okay, and I'm gonna blame Kurt Cobain for
Oh, yeah.
when I started smoking. It was too cool seeing him smoke. Like I'm gonna do this as well.
Yeah.
Blame it on somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like my whole family were smokers growing up. My grandparents, right? My dad smoked at one time, and then my family down south, they're all chew tobacco. So
Oh wow. Ooh,
I
that's
chewed a bit.
me.
Yeah, I've never really liked it. I hated spitting everywhere and stuff. You know, like that's pretty gross.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's quite
No, but
quite
my
heavy.
dad, he was terrible for spitting in beer bottles. My sister come up thinking she was taking a sip of his beer the one time, and it was tobacco juice, right? So,
Oh,
oh yeah, she was sick for a long time. Yeah,
poor girl. Oh my God. I remember my dad was smoking a specific brand of cigarettes for many, many, many years, like 3, 4 packs a day. And whenever I was in his car, he was always smoking. So I always had this smell, in my
Mhm.
face. And when I started smoking, can you believe I couldn't even smoke this specific brand? I tried it and I could not smoke it because
Yeah,
when I wasn't smoking, I wanted to just throw up. So when I
Yeah.
started smoking, it was the neuropath um, already
Triggers that, right?
in my head telling me this emotional connection with this specific brand, that I couldn't take it. I couldn't even smoke when I was smoking.
Oh, wow, right?
So
Yeah,
I
back
think
in the day, when you weren't allowed to roll your window down when your parents were smoking, back in, just, you know.
crazy
And
time.
then I used to get earaches really bad with my ear. My ears used to bleed and all that. But my mom's remedy to that was to blow smoke in my ear. I remember
No!
she'd just pop away and blow it in your face, blow it
Oh,
in your ear and stuff,
but
right? So,
back then they believed that actually not only smoking is not bad, they believed that it's cool and sexy and kind of
yeah.
good for you.
If you look at just mute or movies in general from back in the day, you watch all the old films. Everybody smokes. They smoked on airplanes, smoked in the hospital, And then
Well,
when the truth finally came out about cigarettes and the years of fighting against it, now, you know, everyone looks down on you now for smoking a cigarette.
yeah.
Can't smoke anywhere. Is it the same over there? You guys, like, we can't even technically smoke in our parks anymore, right? Like,
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
yeah.
Here, thankfully, the law was implemented. Actually, the law existed for a while, but Greeks were smoking everywhere. And
Hmm.
it started, they actually implemented it properly maybe just a few years ago,
Oh,
for
wow.
just a few years
Everything's
ago.
been
And
non-smoking here forever now. Like,
that's good.
yeah.
And I mean, to be honest, a lot of Greeks I see smoke. They do the rollies. It's
Oh,
very,
yeah.
yeah. It's a thing, and but thankfully, it's not allowed to smoke inside anymore.
Yeah. I
Indoor.
remember my last road trip before the pandemic. I was in a restaurant down south. Actually, it was a bar. I was in New Orleans, actually, or just outside of New Orleans there. And I could smoke right in the bar. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is, for me, it was amazing because I'm a smoker. I don't have to go outside every hour or something, right?
Yeah,
But after about an hour of being there and everybody smoking, I had to leave. Like, it was too smoky. I was like, what?
yeah, and
I
your
wish you couldn't,
eyes,
right?
they water. Your eyes, they start,
Mm,
feeling itchy and
yeah.
red, and yeah,
And I've
it's
just recently, in the last couple of weeks, I've stopped smoking in my car because I don't want my car to fucking stink when I resell it and stuff, right?
yeah. That's good. I'm sure that you will. I can feel it that you will
I'm
very,
ready,
very, very soon.
right? So I
Yeah,
figured
and I hope that I'm
seeing,
not going to go back to it. I hope
no, I
that.
hope not. I'll bug you if I need you, need some support.
No, definitely,
But,
definitely. I think it's all about, again, emotional associations you give to
mhm,
things. Is because I did this post the other day about me almost cutting out sugar from my life completely.
mhm.
Almost.
I'm,
I'm on a good path, and I'm
yeah.
doing good with it in general.
That's
And
very hard to do. Sugar is in absolutely everything, man. And what a
yeah,
lot of people don't realize with the aspartame or aspartame shit, sorry, with like the fake sugars and the sugar supplements, they
yeah,
actually tell your body not to produce or not to break down the sugar. And that's how the diet, like sugar additives and stuff, work. Well, when you start taking that, your body doesn't recognize sugar anymore.
yeah,
And then now you go back to eating Doritos and cookies and pop, your body just starts storing that and not using
yeah.
that because it's
I read
very,
about that. I read exactly what you say, that we can't really digest, our body doesn't recognize it. And it's like, what are you giving me? And then you want more of that. And it's because it's made to be like smoking.
yeah, addictive.
You get addicted to it. And like coffee, but I don't feel
Yeah.
like
Well,
but but yeah, it was very hard in the beginning. And I did this post because I thought, maybe it's going to help someone who's trying. I don't know. And
Hmm.
a friend of mine, a friend posted, and he said, "Oh, I admire your not will." Ah,
Motivation.
sorry.
Motivation.
Something like that. And I thought about it, and I said to him, it's not about willpower, your
Oh.
willpower. It's
Hmm.
not about willpower. It's not about willpower, because willpower takes so much energy that you can't keep on doing it. It's exhausting. It's about creating a different neuropath in your mind, and giving a different emotional association to sugar or to smoking.
Hmm.
It's the emotion that makes you, eating sugar or whatever.
Yeah, or eating in general, or drinking, binge drinking, and such, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you
Like,
change that, then it's much easier, because you
yeah.
don't use
Well,
willpower anymore.
people say, "Oh, it's so hard. It's so hard." Well, you only really have. It's only hard for 2 weeks. People, it becomes a habit after 2 weeks of doing something. You
I
know.
think it's different for every person. I think it might be, 28 days for you and 35
Oh,
days for me, or 60
yeah.
days. I think it's different for everyone, but I think there is the right way to do it, or the wise way to do it, and you know just doing it without having a tactic, or
Or
a
yeah,
way to
I'm
do
only
it.
gonna smoke 5 smokes today. So I only
Oh,
take 5 smokes.
yeah.
That doesn't work. I just smoke even more when I get home. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
So.
yeah. You feel deprived. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. I remember now, it's been actually in July, it's going to be 3 years since I stopped smoking. And I really hope I'm not going to go back to it, because I
Yeah.
know that the neuropaths in our minds are not deleted completely. And it's
No.
there, it's there still, but there is another pathway that is created for the non-smoking, right? So, what did I want to say now? What did I want to say? I
That's all
don't
good.
know. I don't
Uh,
know what I wanted to say. But anyway, it's about it's not so much about willpower. It's not so much about, yeah, I'm gonna try hard to do this,
yeah. Willpower is more for when you're doing shit. Like, let's say I'm riding my bike to get up that hill. That's where my
Right.
willpower comes in.
Yeah.
Like you said, you can't use willpower for years on end to fucking do something. There's
No. It's because it's exhausting. I mean,
no.
how many times will you say no? How many times, if it's a challenge every time, it's hard. But if you connect a different
Mhm.
emotion, a different feeling to what you currently do, that you feel that you love, then it becomes much easier.
Yeah.
Much easier.
No, it's true though, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing.
that's what they say in hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
At
Who
the
are these
moment.
people?
It's not me just coming up with these things. It's the course that I've been taking, and the neuroscience documentaries that I've been
Oh
watching
yeah.
on Netflix.
I've been dabbling a lot in the psychiatry a lot lately, is that how you say that? Psychiatry, or how the mind works and the thought processes of certain, even like with
Fascinating.
different cultures, like the Americans are all America, you know what I mean? But when you come to Canada as a whole, our thought process is totally different, and then each state, individual states are almost like their own country in that sense. Like to go from Virginia all the way to New Orleans, it's like you're in a different country,
Very different.
and the
Very
different
different.
customs and the way people just generally think, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it happens even in Greece, in such a tiny, tiny place. I was in my hometown, a very small village, for a few months, and now I'm in Athens, and I can see people thinking so much differently. It's very different. And 4 hours away driving, and
Yeah.
like a different world
Mm.
almost. So it makes sense. It's a huge, huge country, and I visited Austin. I played in South by Southwest in
Oh,
2013, and I
wow.
loved it. I
Yeah.
loved the Austin. Oh my God! And everybody, I have to say, all the Americans there, they were so open and friendly and huggy and just loving music and energetic, and we were, yeah, just getting along very, very well. And I was like, guys, I heard some things about Texas, uh, I don't see what I heard doesn't go with what I see here. And the Americans in Austin were telling me, oh, it's just Austin. We're all open here. But outside of in Texas, it's a little bit different,
I
which I don't know because I haven't visited
Yeah, I was
any other.
in El Paso there 2 years ago for a couple days and talked to people. That city was amazing. I didn't get time to go to Austin. I was in San Antonio for a couple days there, right?
Yeah.
The people were great, but the roads, I fucking do not like that highway, man. Not one bit. Well, I only had a little four banger, so my car doesn't do 85 miles an hour very well. She just fucking shaking. So,
Oh my God. I really want to visit the US as well and go to New York and LA and
New
New
York
Orleans
is
and
amazing. I'm
everywhere,
a
and
huge
then
fan of New York.
Canada.
Yeah. Oh, you got to come to Ontario. But when you do Canada, you got to go from one side to the other to see everything if possible. But your first stop should definitely be here in Ontario. Man and I will hook you up. We'll take you around, sightseeing. Yeah.
Amazing. Yes.
And
Yes.
hopefully next year, my plans plan out and I'll be over your way as well. So I'll
Oh
keep
yeah,
you posted
let's
on that.
go. Let's go to the Parthenon. Let's go up on the Acropolis and yeah,
Yes,
just
that would be fantastic.
oh my God. I can't even tell you the energy that you're getting, that you feel when you're up there. It's like nothing else I've
Yeah.
experienced.
Maybe I'll make that my first stop and absorb some awesome energy for the rest of my travels. Right.
It's unbelievable. It's gorgeous energy. It's divine energy almost.
It's hard to explain when some people don't feel the energy like others do. Like I can tell when I walk in a room what kind of energy's in the room, what's going to happen later. Usually if I'm out and some shit's going down, for some reason I can feel that energy. Oh, time to go, guys. We always leave right before the fucking shit goes down.
Yeah, probably, you're very, it feels like you're very well connected with your intuition and your this little voice that we have in our
Yeah.
head. Most of the time we say, no, 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 I'm going to do something else, and then
Yeah.
do something wrong. So it's important to be in touch with this the divine feminine, as they call it,
Yeah.
um, with this your intuition.
Yeah, I've fared out very well with it. Like it's definitely steered me in the right direction, that's for sure. Not all the time, but for the most part, I'm still alive, so it's done all right. All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Same. For many many years, actually, I wasn't really connected to my with my I wasn't feeling, I couldn't feel where my center is, or I wasn't in touch with my intuition. um, I think that this door was closed, but slowly and steadily it started opening, and more I love just being in touch with, just being connected
yeah.
with,
Being reconnected with your surroundings, just what's around you, just
yeah,
and just a starter, and then you take that little bit and you make it grow and grow, and then very soon you almost become enlightened in the end of it all. Like you just,
I
it's
hope
almost
I
like a weight comes off your shoulders in that sense, where you don't have to really worry anymore. You just kind of go, you know.
yeah, I hope I'm gonna reach this stage, my friend. Maybe you can teach me how
Oh,
to,
maybe.
because um, many times still I'm getting worried and stressed. I manage it much better than before. I have tactics and techniques
Hmm.
that help me. But definitely, what you say, reaching that stage of calmness, and whenever something hard happens or challenging, you have the belief that it will work out without having to think, oh my God, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
You let fear overtake you in a way.
It consumes you in that sense. It's like a seed as well. That fear and doubt and
Yeah,
self doubt can grow just as fast as confidence can, right?
yeah,
So you have to be very careful where you plant your seeds and which ones you
yeah.
plant, right? So,
And I actually think that the negative feelings are easier to grow than the
oh,
positive feelings.
yes. And I'm just kind of getting over because of the pandemic. I couldn't go do this. Nah, that really got me down. You could really see it in the interviews too, like from the starting and then to now, and then the last few, you can see me coming back around, being more
Yeah.
interactive, more picking up, right? But
Yeah, yeah, it's important. It's important to keep going, and we lose the balance and we find it again, and then we're like,
mhm,
oh, okay, what am I doing here that works for me? And then you might lose it again, but then you remember what you did
mhm.
before that worked. You go back to that, and
Yeah, mine's. I've been just working too much, doing much on the show. I haven't been able to put my feet in the dirt, grab that soil, and look up the last little bit. So that's what I'm doing this coming week, man. Getting back grounded again, I guess you could say, right?
send me some pictures. I would love to see what
Oh,
you see when you go. I'm sure it's going to be mind altering, and
that's gonna be fun.
it's going to be
So
fun.
we're actually taking the local river from here, and it's a 3 day ride up to the Wasaga Beach area. So I've never done this river before, so it'll be interesting to see what's on it. So
Oh, amazing, amazing.
yeah, I'll definitely take photos. Make sure you get some over your way so you can see what's happening.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I'd love to.
So,
Um,
is there anything else we should be covering about music or about your music in general, and where we find you and stuff?
my music, I mean, as I said, I don't have a deadline right now, but I'm writing a lot, and I plan to write even more and do other things less. So I write even more. And so I have a page, coffee.com/Hellena, ko-fi coffee. So people can go there and buy a black coffee for me and my music,
What?
and they in this way they join the creative journey,
This
the creative process.
coffee you speak of, how did that come about? Because I have a few things in the back burner that I'm researching now about coffee, and maybe after hours when we're not on the air, I'm going to pick your brain about that a little bit and see how
Yeah.
you got involved with that.
Yeah, so I've been on Patreon for a while,
Mhm.
and I have my lovely family on Patreon. But recently I decided to start a coffee page, and maybe soon I will. So my people from Patreon will go to coffee, um,
Mhm.
because I feel like, so it's a membership platform, really.
Yeah.
You're buying coffees to people which are not actually coffees. Shame. No, it's not actually coffees, but they go towards the creation of the music, or any studio time, or whatever, any people you work with, right? And so I feel that coffee is a little bit more playful. It doesn't look as serious as Patreon does. You can
Yeah,
do, you can do the same thing. Tiers are coming on coffee as well, which I'm going to create. But then you can do more. You can offer one-off things. You can what else? You can do tips. You can
oh,
do all fun stuff. Create special things for your people with a
just
deadline.
for them in that sense, right?
They have a shop, they have everything, and that's why I thought to try coffee, and I actually like it a lot. I like it a lot, and I'm sure that people who will join me on there, they're gonna have a lot of fun, especially during the creation of the album, because that's such an exciting journey. Plus, they're gonna get things that goodies and special things that nobody else gets, and
Yeah.
it doesn't make the public eye. It's very secret and exclusive.
No, that's amazing. That's good though. Like it's nice to see all these new ideas coming to life.
Yeah, I feel. Um, let's say there are some artists that we love, right?
Hmm.
I feel that we would all love to see how they create the music. What do they do?
Yeah.
How do they think? What's the story behind that? How do they write the lyrics? How do they choose the people they work with? How do they create the artwork? This is the backstage, the behind the scenes process that it's
Well,
so exciting to me and interesting. And I
mm,
feel, since it's very interesting to me, I feel that there will be, there are people who are interested in that too, like me. So
yeah.
I want to create this for them.
No, that's excellent. Yeah, that's fantastic. you know.
Yeah.
But look, we're an hour and 40 minutes into our conversation. Holy, I wasn't expecting this long today, but I've got all the time in the world.
It's been nice. It's been
Yeah.
nice. I actually haven't felt haven't realized how time passed so quickly. So
No, that's a good sign, though. That's great.
time, yes.
I was thinking we were like maybe 40 minutes at the most into her, but no, yeah, double that, right? But hey, when it's
Yeah,
good conversation, you can't argue with that, right?
yeah, definitely, man, definitely. And whenever we wrap up, I'm gonna share as well on my page for my supporters and those who want to watch it. Maybe they're gonna start following your journey
Oh, excellent. I
and
appreciate
see,
that.
and see the other interviews as well. So
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic. Thank you so much for being on today. I don't know why I hadn't bugged you earlier and had you on before, but this was probably the perfect right time to do it, right? So,
Yes, and before, I was also moving. I did two big
mhm.
moves during the pandemic. It's been crazy, and now slowly getting into my routine again. And so, definitely the right time to do it now. And it's been a pleasure.
Oh,
And
it was an
maybe
honor.
we can do this again soon.
Oh, 100%. I was maybe thinking next month we're doing like a mashup and having like two bands on at the same time so that you guys can intermingle with other bands. So I
Ooh.
already have a band in mind for you to maybe come on with. I'll check with them. I'll send some of their music your way so you can hear how they
Yes.
sound and stuff, right? In
Awesome.
Vale, actually, a band out of Toronto here. Haley and Andy, I believe, is the main two in the band, right? Good friends of mine.
Awesome. Yeah, send me some links. Send me some
Yeah,
links.
for
I
sure.
have to send you the links to listen to the Greek artists.
Oh yes, please,
Mhm.
yes. And then yeah, I look forward to having you on many more times. Maybe
Yeah,
collaborating a little bit on some stuff too. And
yeah,
here's to a bright future.
yes. And I wish you have a lot of fun in the woods.
Oh yes, I will take
And
lots of photos for you and make sure you get some I'm gonna post some obviously, but I'll send you the ones I don't post too, and then that
Yeah.
way you can
And
see
let me
everything.
know how you feel after you try, after you quit smoking, basically.
Yes, I will keep you posted on everything that
Yeah,
we're
let me know how it
doing.
goes.
So,
Awesome, man. Thank you
on
so
that note, let's play it loud and play it proud. Is there anything
much.
you got left to say, or are we good today?
What else? What else? I mean, not really. Not
Yeah,
really. To keep on spreading our good energy because
yes,
we might not know, we might think that it's not important, but even if you touch one people today, and
yeah.
it's
I was
it's
gonna
it's
say sometimes that one person just needs that hello from you, or hey man, how's it going? Hey, you look fantastic today, by the way. Just simple stuff like that to make somebody's day, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all I wish for something, for people to spread their good energy
Yeah.
around, and to keep on smiling despite the difficulties. And
Hmm.
sometimes life sucks, but if you have people around you, and you better have people around you that
Yes.
care for you and love you, it's that's all you need,
Yeah. No, it's true though. Live simple, live it easy, and life will be simple and easy then. It's only
Yeah,
you're a product of your own
more
environment,
simple.
or your
Yeah.
own surroundings. So you know, I was talking about this with my roommate there, Davis, and he's going through some shit. And I was like, sometimes you just take a step back, man, and like, look, maybe you're the problem. Who knows? Maybe take a step back and evaluate, right? We
Yeah.
actually were talking about that with Fallen Star. So that was a great conversation with Rose and them. They're back on in September next month for our mashup. So,
Nice. Okay, I'll watch that. Just let me know when it happens.
oh yes, of
I
course,
love,
man.
I love, watching or being in a philosophical,
Yeah.
conversation. And so, yeah, let me
Oh
know.
yes. Well, you'll be on the show lots more. Don't worry about that. I've had a fantastic time today, man. It was an
Yeah.
honor finally meet you, like be able to see you and speak to you in person. I know we do a lot of online communication, right? So,
Yes. Yes. Thank you for your time and for everything you've done for the music.
oh,
And yeah, see you around.
sounds good. Play it loud, play it proud, people. Enjoy your Sundays. And tonight we have Tangent coming on the show for 9 p.m. So Eastern Standard Time.